Today we're going to be talking about life processes. So life processes or life functions are basically all of the activities that are carried out by an organism that enable it to survive. So here are the life processes we're going to be talking about. Let's start with nutrition. Nutrition is just basically taking in nutrients and breaking them down so that they can be transported around the body. There's different stages of nutrition though. So ingestion is the taking in, digestion is the breaking down, then we have absorption into the bloodstream so that it can be circulated around the entire body to all of those cells that need the nutrition, the nutrients that we take in. And then of course, there's always stuff that we eat, parts of it we can't use. So we have to get rid of that solid waste, and that's egestion. Respiration is the second one we're going to talk about, and it is not breathing. Respiration has to do with breathing. Breathing is a part of it, but that's not the whole thing. We do need to take in oxygen in order to go through respiration, but it's bigger than that. So respiration really is breaking nutrients into smaller units to release that chemical energy that's stored in them. And we do that in the presence of oxygen. So breathing has a part of that. So say you're exercising, you're running, you're going to take in oxygen. You would have eaten your cheeseburger, whatever you had that day, and that's going to provide the nutrients that you need, the glucose that you need, that you're going to break down. So you're going to break those down, and the waste products of respiration would be carbon dioxide and water, but you're going to produce this stored energy that you can use whenever you need it. So that's really respiration. It's breaking down the stuff that we take in order to release that energy. Transport. Really simple one. It's the movement of materials through the body and also within the cell. Our main transport system is that circulatory system. It's going to help us to get everything that we need to all of those cells of our body. Excretion. It's basically the removal of cellular waste. A lot of people think excretion is the solid waste removal, and it's not. Remember, go back to nutrition for that one. So excretion is the removal of cellular wastes, and those are basically the byproducts, the waste products of all of those chemical reactions that are performed within our cells. We call all of those chemical reactions together metabolism. So here's some examples of some of those waste products. So water, urea, carbon dioxide, salt. So here's some of our organs that are responsible for excretion. So our skin, when we sweat, we can get rid of water, urea, some salt. Lungs obviously help us to get rid of that carbon dioxide that's left over from respiration. And our kidneys can filter our blood and help us to get rid of some of those wastes and produce urine that get rid of those cellular waste that we have built up in our blood. Regulation. Regulation basically is our way of keeping our body in balance. So our external environment is constantly changing, and it's our body's way of responding to that. So say it's really warm one day and we need to cool our body off. Our systems would respond to that by causing us to sweat. If we're really cold, then our systems respond to that by causing us to shiver, which raises our body temperature. So it's our body's way of maintaining that homeostasis or balanced state. So the two main systems that are responsible for that would be the endocrine system and the nervous system. Reproduction. So basically, we know what this is. We've studied this before. It's a production of new individuals. Now, while this isn't essential to the survival of a single organism, it is very much so important for the survival of the species. Without reproduction, without having children, there's no way for our species to move on. So it is essential for the survival of the species. Number 7 is growth. It's not just about cells getting bigger or organisms getting bigger. It's about those cells getting so big that they must divide and reproduce and cause that organism to get larger over time. We're going to talk about mitosis later on, but that's the mechanism behind this growth of an organism. And synthesis is the last one that we're going to talk about. I know you've heard that in other words, such as photosynthesis. So it's combining simple substances into complex substances. So, for example, in photosynthesis, a plant would take carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and create glucose and oxygen. So, we combined these simpler substances into something that the plant could use. This is food for the plant. So, synthesis is bringing together simple substances to make complex ones. And that's all that we have for today.